The NFL schedules come out tonight. You don't want to wait. I've got an NFL over-under win total you want to bet right now.
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And no NBA playoffs tonight, 2 games tomorrow. So we'll attack at least one of those games coming up on Friday's show. Went 2-1 yesterday. We'll recap those picks coming up in just a bit and have a couple baseball plays to get to. But as Lee mentioned in the open, NFL schedule fully released coming up tonight. We've already gotten leaks about some of the international games and a couple opening week games and some scattered games, but we'll know every single game coming up later tonight, so we could dive into all of that. But Lee, though, does have a season win total before the schedule comes out to jump on, and it's our lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it! Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
The Chicago Bears, they won 11 games last year, captured the NFC North crown, made it to the second round of the playoffs before losing to the Rams, and they had a dramatic win over Green Bay in the wild card round. But again, Detroit was down last year. Minnesota was down last year. We'll see how this division flips if it does, and obviously Green Bay in the mix as well. But Lee, what do you like with the Bears win total coming up this season?
All right, so you're looking at the win total, and it's anywhere, a few places 9.5, most places 10, and you're saying, oh, Bears, 11 wins last year. They can do 11 or 12, but let's look deeper into which way you should go here. Some things I like about the Bears, love their head coach, Ben Johnson. I think he's a top 5 NFL coach already. I think Caleb Williams took the next step. Do I think he's a top 10 quarterback yet? No. Couple things I really don't like here, and they need to be concerned about it if you're a Chicago Bears coach or in the front office. They lost their heart and soul of the team. You're like, well, who's that? It's Drew Dahlman, their center. And center makes the offensive pass protection calls, and he just surprisingly retired in the offseason, not even 30 years old. They took a free agent and signed a free agent. I don't know how that's going to work out. Huge loss there running the football. Also, DJ Moore, he was traded. I know they ended up grabbing Detroit's Khalif Raymond, but he's a lower level third receiver here, and I don't think they have much depth after that. So any one of their starters like Rome Odunze or Luther Burden get hurt, I think they're in trouble. I don't think the return game is great here. On defense, they ended up signing a free agent linebacker, Devin Bush, originally from South Florida. I think he's seen his better days. I know he had a lot of tackles with Cleveland, but I think he was helped by really having a really good front four in front of him. So I think they're weaker there. Their pass rush, I don't think they improved that. Also, safety. Both of their safeties could not cover. And I'm not talking about straight ahead guys. I'm talking about guys going across the formation. So what did they do? They first round pick, Dylan Thieneman. I think he's very good out of Oregon. Like that pick. But Kobe Bryant, okay, decent, nothing special. So I think this is a weaker team than last year. They won 7 games by a touchdown or less. They play the toughest. That's right, the toughest of 32 teams schedule. Also, and it's 550, a 55% winning percentage. So I don't think it really matters that much. Some people will wait. They'll see the schedules come out tonight. They'll start doing their work. You should have your work done right now. And the last things you should be doing, putting finishing touches on betting over-unders tonight when the schedule comes out, not starting your work. And then also teams in the division. I think Green Bay is going to be better. Micah Parsons down the stretch. He was hurt. I expect him to come back within a month of the start of the season. They got to play him late in the year, the Green Bay Packers, when they were refusing to blitz. Minnesota, they had J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz as their quarterback. Huge upgrade there. Kyler Murray, not that he's great, but better than those two guys. I think he's a better fit in their offense. So they also play 8 home games, not 9 like last year. You gotta look at everything. There's so many things that go into whether a team will be better or worse. So I'm looking at the team, not quite as good as last year. I don't think the breaks are going to go their way like they did last year. Think that the schedule is obviously tougher because they won the division here. I'm going under 10 wins here. It's going all the way up on a Thursday, level 3 lock.
And seeing some of the opponents outside the division for Chicago, they got to go to Buffalo. They got to go to Seattle. They have to visit Carolina, who we saw was obviously improved last year. They get the Eagles, Bucks, Patriots, and Jags at home. Even the Saints, who have made some promising moves. So really, the schedule, like you said, Lee, it's not favorable at all. And we'll see how it all turns out once we know all the dates of all these games.
Yeah. I think, like I said, there's so many levels to my suggestion here on a over-under prop as far as wins. So you got to get on them early, and think the sharps are going to hit this and knock it down to 9.5 and maybe even 9. So early bird gets the worm here, and I'm ready to roll, and I'll have another one tomorrow. There's another over-under win total that I'm looking at where I think a team might be overvalued. Not a great team, but a team that some people think, a lot of people think is going to be much improved, and I don't think so.
And also, we do know the Bears are visiting Detroit to take on the Lions on Thanksgiving. That's the first game there. So we know that is the case for one of those games. Now, let's turn our attention to Major League Baseball. We remain in the Windy City, this time with the red-hot White Sox as they take on the Royals in our blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
The Chicago White Sox have been one of the most improved teams in baseball this season, and also in that wacky AL Central. They're still hanging around right now with the Tigers struggling, the Royals struggling, the Twins struggling, and Cleveland playing all right for the moment. But the White Sox looking for a sweep of the Royals tonight, but we're going to take Kansas City as a minus 138 road favorite here to avoid the sweep. Chris Bubic takes the mound for the Royals, and this is a guy that you weren't really sure about him a few years ago, but he's actually turned into a decent arm for the Royals, and right behind Cole Reagan's probably their second best left-hander, and Reagan's is hurt now, so he's kind of the only left-hander they're depending on. But Bubic, last time he faced the White Sox earlier this season at home, 7 scoreless innings in a 2-0 win, and also when Bubic takes the mound, Kansas City has been pretty successful of late. They've won each of his past 4 starts. Meanwhile, Anthony Kay starts for Chicago. He actually pitched well against the Royals in that same series in Kansas City last month. The game he pitched in, actually, he took the mound after the White Sox got swept at home by the Orioles. So that seems like a long time ago. And in that first game, Chicago responded well. Kay pitched well, 5 2/3 scoreless innings for the win. And then Bubic pitched the next game, and he got the 2-0 win. But for Anthony Kay, he has not had consecutive wins this year as a starter. So he's coming off a win his last start out against Seattle, and I just don't think that he'll get it again. Royals, I look at them to avoid the sweep here. Let's take them as a road favorite against the White Sox as our MLB blowout special.
Yeah, I think you're on the right side here. I've been on the White Sox the last couple of weeks a lot, and people don't realize this is a very underrated team here. One of the worst teams the last couple of years, but I think this is one spot they're going to be up against it.
So let's look back at last night really quick before we get to the hidden gem in a bit. 2-1, and we won with the Astros. They came back and, they came back and tied the Mariners, took the lead on the Mariners. Seattle got 1 in the 9th, and then the Astros 1 in the 10th. So that was a good hit. Also, Xavier Edwards of the Marlins, that was a nice one as well, as he hit his prop in the win over the Twins.
Yeah, I think he ended up with total 6 hits, runs, RBIs. So he spearheaded that offense. got a walk to start the game. Those count if you come across and score a run. So he scored in the first inning, and that was important. And then he added on a couple hits and RBIs. So big day for him and the Marlins.
But the loser, though, unfortunately, was the old Pistons. The Cavs finally won a road game. Pistons blew it late in that one. Cleveland won in overtime. So they're going to Game 6 back in Cleveland. Cavs trying to close it out. But it's got to be disappointingly having the Pistons there thinking that they could shut the door and just couldn't get their offense. They couldn't get any good shots there in the final few minutes before overtime.
Yeah, just if the game stopped with 2-3 minutes to go in the game, we're a winner. So we were close. Give Cleveland credit here. Detroit, how do you not close them out at home? Big mistake, and they could be done.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Cavs can finish things off at home coming up tomorrow night. We have one more play, a baseball game for this afternoon to go over. That is straight ahead. You are listening to the Thursday edition of Locked On Bets. FanDuel, that's right. The NBA playoffs, they're off tonight, but they're back tomorrow with the big doubleheader. Cavs, Pistons, T-Wolves, Spurs, and we'll see if any of those teams move on to the conference finals or if we have game 7s in either of those series. But the NBA playoffs are here and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel is a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. And you can handicap inside that FanDuel app. You make your bets there, but also you can find the stats you need, the trends, the matchups, whatever it is to get yourself on the right side of these games. And tomorrow, Cleveland, Detroit, big game 6 there in Ohio. Game 6 between San Antonio and Minnesota back at Target Center. All the stars are out. Wemby, Anthony Edwards, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Cade Cunningham. If you want to look at player props for those particular stars, maybe someone else that is not really talked about, you could find one of them, maybe get some value on their player props or just go with the side total money line. It is all up to you. It's an app that's really easy to navigate. It makes that playoff basketball even more engaging. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Now let's tell you about Rocket Money. And if you ever opened your bank account and thought, where'd all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. And what Rocket Money does, it tracks all your subscriptions in one spot, help you cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. Also, it automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. And also you can set budgets, get alerts, stay on top of upcoming bills, making everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances from day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Thursday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. And an afternoon affair in Sacramento. The Athletics and the Cardinals closing out their series. And time now for our MLB Hidden Gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
Shea Langeliers of the A's. It's tough to know a city name. You just have to say Athletics all the time. But he is looking to pick up a couple hits today against the St. Louis Cardinals. Rubber game in that series. A's came back. Nick Kurtz had a grand slam in last night's win. So now we'll see who picks up the rubber victory. And Shea Langeliers in the leadoff spot. Probably the second best leadoff hitter in A's history behind Ricky Henderson. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to put that out there. So, Lee, what do you like with Shea Langeliers and his hits, runs, and RBI prop today?
Yeah, unusual you see a catcher in the leadoff spot, but I mean, he's getting it done here. 12 homers, 25 RBIs, and hits the ball hard. I just think that this team is so underrated, so much young talent. The last couple of weeks brought up another couple young guys. We'll talk about them maybe in the next couple of weeks, taking them on some player props. But Langeliers getting it done. They're playing well. That's part of what plays into me taking the Athletics tonight. They took it they're just taking it to teams right now, starting early in the game, scoring runs. Like last night's player prop with Edwards, I think that Langeliers might get a walk. Already has 15 of those. Might get a hit and score one in the first inning. So if that's the case, I think you want to be on a lot of these young guys and a team that's hot right now, leading the division. Last couple of years been horrible, just like the White Sox, but with that young infusion of talent that they've been able to draft and also get them to a high level in a short period of time, you want to get on these guys. He's a fifth-year catcher from Baylor here, and I want to back him tonight here. Hits, runs, RBIs, all you need to do is get two, combination of two, and you're a winner. So we're going to go with a blowout special. Shea Langeliers here, leadoff hitter for the Athletics here. He gets over the 1.5 total, I think, pretty early here. It's going to be my blowout special.
And that one starts up at 3 o'clock. So just to keep that in mind coming up today. So, Lee, no NBA tonight, but back with a big doubleheader tomorrow. Stanley Cup playoffs continue. MLB continues. And what do you got going on Paramount Sports with all the action?
Yeah, and we'll have a UFC free selection tomorrow. So it's going to be a big show on top of the UFC selection. Also have a selection going in the NFL. We'll have another win total that I'm just waiting on. Just want to make sure the schedule works out the way I think it is. So you want to listen in. You want to hop on board 10 days. That's right, 10 days baseball, NBA, and hockey, just $97, one place, ParamountSports.com.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as the podcast version you could find on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Type in Locked On Bets, and you'll be all set. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.